Hey, what up, world? It's another episode with the three bros and a mic.
Let's go, baby.
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, you know who it is. I got Big Zay,
Yo.
Big Mark, Big Mike, and I'm J Mac, and we make up three bros and a mic.
Right. You know what time it is.
You know what time it is, man. And today, man, we got a hot topic.
Ooh.
Man, listen, shout out to my one of my good friends who came up with the topic. She was like, yo, we got to, I need y'all to talk about ghosting.
Mm.
And I was like, ghosting? What is that? And she was like, hey, it happens to women all the time, and sometimes men, but she said, I want to get y'all's perspective on ghosting.
It happened to men too, man.
We have learned.
Say ghosting has no face.
Facts.
Right. So, thank you to everybody who responded to us about our questions about ghosting. So we're going to play a few clips. And, fellas, we're going to talk about it.
Let's do it. We got to get into it.
Yeah, we got to get into it, man. So here's our first clip, man. Let's talk about it. And viewers, y'all let us know how y'all feel about it. Put us in the put it in the comment. Let us know.
Right.
All right. So here we go. This is the first one. Let's see if I play it for y'all.
So on the topic of ghosting, the first question was, what do I think about it? I guess, or have I ever thought about it? I've ghosted people and I've been ghosted before. Is it necessary? No, because I feel like if you want to be honest people, you should just tell the person why you're not feeling them. But on the flip side, I see why people don't, because you honestly don't owe them any explanation. Is there a better alternative? Not really if you're trying to spare somebody's feelings, because people can't understand or take the truth. It does feel like, it feels really bad afterwards. Because like I said, I've been ghosted. However, like, I can't get mad because people have their preferences. And you shouldn't take it to heart. I look at it as that's a sign, as maybe that just wasn't the person for you, because if they were, they would be in your life. But ghosting, I feel like is dumb, truly, because why can't you just tell the person how you truly feel? Right. But then I'm also a hypocrite because I don't do that.
That's a contradiction of her first half of her statement, wasn't it?
All right, so fellas, what first thing that popped out in my mind was she said that you don't owe anybody an explanation.
Man, that's deep, man.
I get that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No. I mean, like you said, Jim Mac, I get that, man. At the end of the day, you really don't owe anybody an explanation. But, to be a decent human being, you at least let them person know, like, look, this is not working. This is not for me. This situation I'm just not willing to pursue, any further. And then just move on, man.
But then I hear that. But then on the other side of that, I don't owe you anything because I'm not that invested, right?
Oh, right. But then you leave the other person on the hook, man. It's just like, dang, what did I do? What happened? I don't know if she done fell off a cliff or what the situation may be. And you just leaving me in suspense like a movie. And I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, Mike, what you think, Mike?
No, I think you do owe that person an explanation. It doesn't have to be elaborate. It doesn't have to be anything in depth. But some sort of, if you invested time into a person, whether it's a day, whether it's a date, whether it's a couple of minutes, or a couple of months, or whatever, a few years, like, I do think that you should. I don't know, for some reason, I think a lot of people have gotten real comfortable with not accepting accountability. And I think that's really what that boils down to.
That's deep.
And most people are okay with just like walking away, or just like an explanation or some type of reasoning or rationale is warranted. And I think in any situation. So I can't really like subscribe to that notion of like I don't owe you nothing. Yeah, we invested time. I don't care whether it was a date or something, but like if I'm understanding this ghosting concept the way that she presented it, or the way that we discussed, then just completely walking away from something with no type of like
explanation anything.
That's like that's just a lack of accountability.
But is it it's respectable to tell them what's up, right?
Right.
But a lot of women will feel that I don't owe it to you, but it's out of respect.
Right.
So y'all agree with that?
Nah, I think it is owed. Right? Because like I took time to whatever type of engagement it may have been. Like that was time invested.
Right.
That was energy. That was resources invested. So that is you are owed that. Like, I mean, it's a two-way street.
Go ahead, Mark. What you got?
Mike is taking it personally. I hope y'all feeling that. Right. But I mean, another thing that a listener pointed out to was she said that some people just can't take it. Take that, that dismissal, right? Or that letting go process of hey, for whatever reason, I'm done. I'm ready to move on. Yeah. I don't care what you feel about it, but that's how I feel about it. So I mean, I can respect that. I can see both sides of the picture, right? So like you say, a lot of people can't come to terms with accepting that this person's ready to move on. Right?
Yeah, I get that too. Like, I guess some people can get to the point where they just, like you said, they can't accept it.
Right.
Now they want to blow up your phone, blow up your social medias, whatever the situation may be. But I think it could go both ways, because now if you're leaving me hanging, now I'm still blowing you up trying to figure out what's going on, or I might be on your social. So I guess it could cut both ways when you just disappear like that.
Very true. But I guess I'm thinking of, if you weren't that invested, should it go that deep to where I got to give you an explanation?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
It's depending on timeline, right? So do I owe you an explanation, right? If we've only been talking for 2 weeks.
Right.
2 months. Like,
I think is a strong word. O is a strong word.
Ooh.
Is it though?
Because now you think you trying to make me feel like I'm obligated to give.
I agree. I think
that's the strong word when you say
word. Yeah.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm with Mark, a timeline, right? Because if we only been dating for like 2 or 3 weeks,
right,
I don't owe you nothing, in my opinion.
Yeah,
No. Okay, Big Mike.
So let me put it like this, right? Let's say that you out job searching, right?
Yeah.
You get an interview. You land an interview. And you're the only candidate, right, for that position. The only candidate, right? And the job or the company decides to not hire you. Do you feel like you're owed an explanation as to why they didn't select you? And you were the only candidate.
Like that's 2 different situations.
Are they letting you know? Like, is that a thing that they let you know you're the only candidate though?
Yeah, they let you know that you're the only candidate, but they didn't give you no explanation of why they didn't hire you.
That's wow.
You vested time.
Yeah, man. That's a different story.
That's different, bro.
That's different. Because now you playing with my emotions now, man. Facts, man.
Playing with my life, my
right,
career,
man, all that. You done told me. Why even tell me I'm the only candidate if you was gonna do something like that? That's like.
But the thing is, they could have chose to like hire you, or they could have chose to not hire you. I guess my point is that like, do you feel that you're owed an explanation? If you weren't hired, do you feel that you're owed an explanation as to why not?
I guess in both situations, you're getting your hopes up, man. It's like, yo, I hope this leads to something, further. I'm kicking it with this particular person. No, if somebody tells you, a prospective employer tells you, I am the only candidate or the final candidate, in my mind, I don't know, maybe y'all tell me something different. I'm thinking I'm about to sign these HR papers. You know what I'm saying? And then to the other point is, if we're talking and we've got to the point of having a date or something like that, or whatever the situation may be, linking up, going on a date or whatever the situation may be, we've had previous discussions, we've had conversations that led us up to this point. So things were going good in my mind, well enough to have a date, and then all of a sudden after the date, I don't hear from you. It's just like that's disappointment. And I think it's the same way when you tell me I'm the only person for the prospective job.
So I agree. And to Mike's point, what if in that job situation, you don't get the job? Granted, you want to know.
That's all I was
You want to know, right? But at the same time, think about it on a relationship situation. If that female goes on and picks somebody else, and you want to know, and she says, she don't give you no explanation. What a lot of cats do, a lot of guys, believe it or not, they start nagging. Why?
Yeah, that's
why? Why does he?
That's different,
why does he?
Right.
Like, you ain't gonna do that on no job, are you?
Right.
You ain't gonna do that on no job to no boss. But why? Why him, not me? Why?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
But the expectation is different, right? Yeah. So you got to judge upon, based on what situation you in. So a job is more so, hey, I'm gonna go in here, I'm gonna kill it. I know I got the job, but I know it's in the air, right? It's not in my hands.
Right.
But when a relationship, especially if y'all feeling each other, y'all spending time, right? Y'all getting interwoven, so to speak.
That
right,
ain't
in
in your
your
hands
lives.
either,
though.
It's not, but you have more control of it. You know what I'm saying? So if you say, if it's just between you and this person, and you seeing it every week, you're hanging out, you met my family, I met your family, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months in, all of a sudden you start answering my phone call. Right?
Hey, okay.
I'm texting him like, where you at? I thought you was to meet up.
Right.
And then I see you on Instagram, you hanging out with somebody else.
Right.
Like that's a total different situation,
Well, now,
bro.
here's my thing. I'm gonna throw another curve. I know we got other comments and other audio to share with y'all, man.
Right.
Is there an age cutoff when ghosting? You just got come on. We gotta be grown now. Is there an age cutoff?
No.
You follow what I'm saying?
No.
Like, can you be 40, 50 still ghosting people,
Baby,
bro?
Yes.
Anybody can get it.
Yes. Anytime, any
Anybody
place.
can get it.
Yeah, from the
Hey,
research
I would say earlier, ghosting has no
Wait,
face.
so you be cool with your grandparents ghosting?
Well, it ain't about what we feel about
Right,
it.
yeah. I mean, how do they feel?
It ain't
Right,
about
like,
what we feel about it, bro.
How do they feel?
I don't think
It's a personal decision.
And that's how pops get down,
Right,
man.
yeah. Facts, man.
You know,
He trying to move on to the next.
I don't think it's cool at all. You know what I'm saying? At any age or whatever, but you know,
You
like,
think
I
you think
explanation-
it's a immature way to handle things?
I wouldn't call it immature. I think it's just like a lack of like, again, accountability. So
Right.
I mean, I
Of
guess if
respect
that,
too,
right?
and respect
Yeah.
too. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, it ain't got to be nothing elaborate. I'm not looking for like a thesis or you know, it ain't even got to be heartfelt. Just like you know, this ain't working. But
the same
Are there
instead of saying nothing at all.
instead of
Right.
saying nothing
Yeah,
at all,
just- yeah.
like that's just you know, that's kind of like I don't know, man.
Is there ever a time though to respectably ghost?
Yeah, of course. What, no.
Is it Mike? Is it a
You
time?
can ghost.
That's like an oxymoron.
Right,
man.
yeah. Come on, man.
Like,
Come on.
ghosting. I mean,
You can
good
ghost,
or bad. I don't
you
know.
can ghost like the action of like
Casper, that girl.
Right, yeah.
like I think the act of like leaving something or like you know withdrawing from something or whatever or stepping away from something.
Right.
That's okay. That's
Right.
totally okay.
Right.
But like I mean I think
Especially if it's not healthy for
if
you.
yeah, you know what I'm saying. Or if you're just not.
Oh yeah,
feeling
you
it.
got
Right,
you
yeah.
got circumstances that change.
Or
it.
if you're just not interested anymore, like,
Right,
oh, that
facts.
is fair, but like the
But say
way
something.
the way you exit out, right? It's about how you do
Yeah.
it, you know.
Okay.
So like the whole abrupt non-communication with no explanation,
That's crazy.
like
That's
I think
crazy.
that's a
to me.
little, yeah, that's a little,
That's a
weird.
little aggressive.
I feel like
Yeah.
it's weird
Extensive, right?
Yeah.
in relationships, and I feel like it's weird in the workforce.
I think you know. It's personally, I know we're gonna move on, man. But personally, like, when it's only happened to me, I can think of maybe once or twice. But it was early in my years, man. We talking about like senior in high school, freshman year in college type thing. But when it happened, man, like when you know old girl wasn't like you know taking my calls or when Facebook was just hot straight off the press in college,
right, yeah,
fresh, and she
fact,
not
yeah.
responding to my messages.
Yeah.
Like I never got to the point where I was like trying to hunt her down.
Right.
Cause I was like, you know what? Obviously, she didn't, you know, whatever it was, and she ain't feeling me.
So on to the
Right.
next.
So I just like, yeah, exactly. I was
Right.
like, well, you know, it is what it is. If it's meant to be, she'll come back.
Right.
You know, that's just how I took it. But,
Right. Hey, Mark, you remember when it came out at we was at Albany State? People would run to the library just to check their messages and posts and stuff like that, man. God,
Nice,
dog,
bro.
somebody on the computer already. Come on, man. Come on,
And
man.
look, y'all, look, that's back in the dial-up
Yeah.
days, y'all. AOL.
Right.
Like,
Facts. Facts, man. Shout out to the ASU, man. We running to the library trying to get on the computer.
boy, it's a different
Man,
time right there.
right?
man.
Facts, man. So
Okay.
yeah, I get it. I totally understand. I've been in a situation myself. You know.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, man, you pouring your heart into you. So I killed this message. I done sent her this message. And you going back day to day, and she don't respond. That's a devastating feeling, man.
devastating, yeah, for sure. Well, any more comments about this, listeners?
One last comment, man. Just a word that I keep hearing. Just talking to different people about this topic, y'all. It's been a hot topic. Just doing research in this. I keep hearing the word coward come up.
Ooh.
Cowardly. Like why would you even do
Cowards.
like it's kind of supports what Mike's saying, right?
Man.
He's like it's never in a situation for the most part where you should have to go that route to ghost, right? Because
Right.
some explanation should be you know.
Right.
But cowardly is crazy.
Yeah.
Man, okay.
Powerful word right now.
Mike, anything, bro?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm gonna echo Mark exactly. I think that coward is definitely applicable. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that everybody that is ghosted or that that is ghosted is a coward per se, but I think it's just it's the out. And people can have like real intentions, right? So like what you
Right.
mentioned, some people may want to avoid the whole
Confrontation.
Right, yeah.
confrontation and
Facts.
like this person gonna want additional context and they're gonna be hitting me up wanting to know
Right.
why and wanting
Right.
to like reconcile and all that. So like for those particular reasons, that's fine. But I mean, state that otherwise, I don't think that there's really a real rationale as to why somebody would just
Ghost somebody.
Ghost somebody.
in
Hey.
any situation though. Any situation.
Any situation.
Friendships, relationships, like whatever,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna move right along, man, to our next listener. She sent in her responses to ghosting. So let's take a listen, man.
to take notes, but I hope you and your baby and your wife, everyone's doing well.
Shout out to the baby.
Shout out to the baby and to the wife.
No doubt.
Your podcast, I'm with your guys before, and I really like, kind of the topics that you all highlight. And
Appreciate it.
hear the point of views. So maybe you can add this. So I'm not sure if I ghosted this guy or if this guy ghosted me, but this is very recent, just this past Saturday.
Oh wow.
I went
Fresh.
so there's this guy and he and I attended college together. I didn't even realize that we were still Facebook friends, or that we were ever Facebook friends for that matter. But so we started communicating back and forth via Facebook, and he's an alpha, of course I'm an AKA. So we
Shout out to
crossed each
Mike.
other's paths before, so he's not he's not a stranger. We have mutual connections, but I don't remember. We might have done events together in college, but I don't remember us personally connecting ever. But anyway, so we've been communicating back and forth on Facebook Messenger for a while now, maybe a month or so. We both live in the same city. And so he mentioned going out before, a year or so ago, but I wasn't interested at that time. Anyway, fast forward, we decided to meet on Saturday, this past Saturday.
Y'all want to keep going?
Man,
Yeah.
it's getting good.
It's getting good.
Mike, that first fam love. Mike.
Hey, first fan, love it.
Yeah. That can get messy too sometimes.
Yeah.
Verbiage. So he
Oh,
called
hear
it
that again.
big. I'm really, really big on verbiage. So he called it, he asked if we could meet. Okay, let me back up. So he asked if we could meet for lunch coffee. Not a lunch date, lunch coffee.
Lunch
coffee. For lunch,
Right.
or coffee lunch, for a coffee lunch. Not a coffee lunch date. So instantly I was just like, I was a little thrown off by that.
Red flag right there.
Hang out, meet up. If we're adults, so if you want to go on a date, that's fine. If you're gonna ask a woman out, I feel like it was showing maybe a lack of confidence, or if I would have said no, at least he wouldn't have felt turned down.
Right.
I could be reading too much into this, but that's what I felt.
Maybe not.
So anyway, I explained to him
interpretation.
I'm a working professional. I can't just meet you because I felt like that was interviewish. Because if we meet for lunch, coffee lunch, don't you have a job to get back to? And don't I? We have about, by the time we travel to this location, lunch breaks are only an hour unless I'm missing
An hour?
something. So I just, I told him, hey, I'm not
I
available.
got
until
15 minutes.
work
15.
hours, especially because, this was the first time that this was someone I was close with already. That's different. You're more flexible.
Alright.
But we did, so I told him, hey, I'm not available. And I think it was a Wednesday or Thursday. I can't remember. But I was like, I am available after work hours. I don't drink coffee, but I will meet you at a pastry shop or somewhere where you can get your coffee and I can get a tea.
Okay.
So he said, that may be a little late for coffee, but I'm sure we can meet at a diner, because I had already picked up on the fact that he didn't want to pay for a dinner. And that's fine. I'm not even going to go down that rabbit hole.
How did she figure that?
So he said, no, it's football season, and there's some big game coming on. So I'm like,
Oh, my goodness.
Now you asked me out, and you're trying to make it very convenient for yourself. So that's the second thing that I just didn't care for. But I
More
still
red
Trying to
flags.
squeeze her in.
Right, yeah. Let me fit you in.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe you're doing too much. So I said, okay.
Y'all want to talk right now? Y'all want to keep going?
What you want to do? Y'all want to break down that first half?
I was waiting for the punch, but
Yeah, it came at the end.
Hey, let me tell you, the first thing
I see where it's going though.
Right.
Yeah.
when the dude trying to squeeze her in before college, Saturday college day, game day on Saturday.
Game day.
Man.
Right.
Yo, that's not a good move,
Yeah,
man.
man. Yeah,
And she picked it up real quick.
She picked up on it.
She
right.
picked it up, and then I love the fact how she pointed out that she was big on verbiage, just be straight up with her.
Right.
And dude, she picked up she's very intelligent. She picked up
Intuitive,
you want to
right,
you
yeah.
want to do a coffee day, or you don't want to pay for it.
Right. She said
She
coffee
read-
lunch or lunch coffee.
She said, "I'm reading
And then
between
her Michael
the
B
lines."
said, "What the hell is that?"
Right. Yeah. Bad.
Let me Google that.
Right.
Yo, any other comments before we move on?
Nah, I want to see where this.
All right, let's see.
lands.
Y'all hope y'all listening, man.
Right.
Shout out to her though.
Yeah,
Right,
shout out
facts.
for the details, man. I
Yeah.
love it.
No doubt.
Said, I realized that you're an early riser because I do get up at 5 for the gym. And so he was like, let's meet Saturday for coffee Saturday morning. Okay, you're still not changing the verbiage. I've already told you I don't drink coffee. But okay. I said, all right, what time? And
Stuck
I
on
said,
that
I
coffee
normally go to
thing,
the gym a little later on Saturdays. I try to sleep in until at least 8. And he was like, well, I need to meet around 10 because there's a football game coming on at noon. So here we are in Lilburn with some
said, we have mutual connections. I don't want to come off as this, stuck up girl or, whatever the case is. I'm going to check it out because his conversation prior to us trying to arrange meeting in person was actually very intellectual, very good, very respectful. So I said, okay, let's just see,
Okay.
So I went on Saturday. Right. He was 10 minutes late. Now, we'll give him the little benefit of the doubt that parking it's wonky on that road, but he knew that. He was 10 minutes
Cut him no
late.
slack.
And
so he already showed he's not interested.
Nah, I won't say that, man.
No.
Things happen.
No,
bro.
yeah.
Things happen, man.
All right, here we
It
go.
ain't like brother
it
though, man.
Right, yeah, it ain't. I ain't gonna say it's a good first impression, but like things happen. Right?
Yeah.
Things happen for sure. All right, man. Let's see what happens next.
so part of it was I knew that I was going to be bringing like good energy. I mean, I had a few little reservations with some of that stuff that I just told you, but overall, it's like I'm looking forward to going and just maybe who knows? Maybe it could be a connection, maybe it could just be a network, maybe who knows? But I knew it was bringing good energy.
Open minded.
Right.
And I was just worried about like what in the world do you wear to like a first
Coffee
meetup or
date.
whatever?
Right, Mike.
So coffee lunch.
For coffee, so I was looking on different blog sites and like YouTube, and I didn't even realize that this was a whole thing. But coffee dates are apparently it was my first time being invited out on one. But apparently this is a whole thing. Like there's so many videos on women saying that it's low effort, it's it's a betting process, men don't want to spend money on women anymore, blah blah blah, all these things. I was just going to look for
It's a whole phenomenon.
I didn't realize that this was a whole thing. But I didn't even let the fact that that's a whole thing tank my mindset of going.
So she has one more part. Y'all want to talk now? Y'all want this last part?
This is the last part. Let's see what's gonna happen.
Here we go.
And it was a great time. We talked. I ended up finding something to drink that was good, and no coffee. Had a good time. He enjoyed it. It was a place that he apparently wanted to go for a while. I mean, he never made it. So we talked. We kept it very surface level. We talked about our parents, our jobs. He definitely made it a point not to go deeper than anything on the surface.
He made a point, right?
Anything like that. And he told me that he enjoyed himself, and we parted ways. He walked me to my car. We parted ways, and neither one of us have reached out to either one of us ever since. And that was Saturday. And we were talking every day, every other day. So I think it's interesting that the conversation was so fluid, so nice. He was complimenting me all the time, all these things, and talking about goals and God and just different things. And then when we met in person, it was just now the conversation in person was still very good. Still flowed easily like it did via Messenger, but after that there was just nothing. So maybe I don't know if you've talked about the coffee date situation or guys asking women out but then wanting it to be in their convenience. But I think this is an example of ghosting. Because neither one of us has reached out to each other since, so I think it's safe to say, it's almost been a week that maybe, this might be an example of ghosting. I don't know, but hopefully this adds to something for y'all's combo.
Yeah, no doubt.
First of all, appreciate it.
Yeah,
shout out to you. Shout out to
we appreciate
the
that.
homeboy.
Right. It's a lot to unpack. There,
That is, and I think Zay brought up a term earlier that may qualify as double ghosting, bro. I think that's what it sounds like.
Right. Facts. 'Cause especially after y'all meet and the conversation has been great beforehand. It seems like you get to the what is it, coffee date,
coffee
lunch,
coffee
lunch, and y'all still having the conversation is still good. But after the fact that neither party reaches out, wow, yeah.
But you know what though? I don't know if I would consider that in their situation ghosting, because I think it's almost kind of like an implied. It's a mutual implication between the two that this just ain't gonna. This ain't it. This ain't gonna work out, and they parted ways. So I don't know that really would
So you don't think it was any after they parted ways? You don't think it was any intention on either party to reach out? So you don't consider that a ghosting? So you think both was content with not hearing from each other ever again?
Yeah. So I don't think that's ghosting because it's not by coincidence that neither one of them reached out. And she said that they've been communicating, talking about God,
right?
All these things,
facts.
A day, every other day, and then after they linked up, they met up. That energy, that vibe, or whatever,
something changed.
It wasn't,
Yes.
the vibe wasn't vibing.
Right.
It was a shift. And so I think it's implied at that point that this just ain't it.
Right.
And so after that, I don't think it's an explanation really needed. Like it's but that's different from some of the like the previous conversation or the previous viewer that shared her experience. So I don't know. I think that's just more of just like an implied,
Do you think that was the reason for him, doing the whole lunch date or whatever, with a coffee date or whatever, instead of going out to dinner just to test out the waters and see?
Yeah, it was just. I think it was to set that up to kind of see, well, is this something that, and that's fair. That's totally fair to see if this is something that could like progress into something.
Right. Yeah. Instead of going to Benihana's or something like that.
Yeah.
And
I agree. I think.
Right. Yeah.
I think he took the right approach by starting off small.
Right.
Because I think a lot of times when you go that route, you're already testing the waters with the mental of your date. Right. You're like, all right, let's see how she feels about going here.
And that was going to be my second thing, J-Man. Do you think that in her mind, was that like almost like a turn off? You think it was a turn off for her, like him even inviting me to this coffee lunch or whatever?
I think it was a little bit of both. I think it was unfamiliar for her because I could kind of tell, she didn't say, but I think she's so accustomed to dates being like, we're going to dinner.
Right.
I think we all are on some level, right?
Yeah. Right. So for him to go that route, and I think he was on the right path by saying, let's just go here. Right. I just want to do something small. It could have been an intimate setting. Yeah. Right. Just me and you, something small. I don't want nothing too big. I just want to have a little, a little drink or whatever. But I think where he messed up was saying, college game day. Yeah, that like
you didn't even have to put that in there. He didn't even have to throw that in there, right? Yeah.
I think she was willing to go along,
right? Yeah,
until you went that route, and
and then you gonna double down.
Yeah,
both days. Like, come on, man.
And then show up late.
Right. Yeah. Somebody cutting you a check for these things, or what we doing, man? You interested in me or what?
Right. Right.
Yeah, but then I think also I hear Michael say it may not be a case of ghosting, but it feels like it though, because it was like after they met,
it's no closure to the situation.
Yeah,
it's nothing.
Right. Which is what ghosting dumbs down.
Yeah,
right.
I'm talking about what's going, either way, what's up?
Right. Yeah, it's still open.
But was it but was it ever open though? I guess I guess that's really what it boils down to, right?
Because what you said earlier though, man, it don't even have to be monetary. My currency is my time. So I've come out of my house, spent my time with you on this date. Yeah. Right. So I feel like it qualifies for that.
I get it. That's fair.
I feel like it's a low level one ghosting type of thing.
Right. Very low.
Right. Low.
Yeah. Compared to the other listener, who literally talked about being actually ghosted and hurting people's feelings.
So that was almost like the entry level to ghosting, right?
Yeah.
Like, all you had to do was let me give you a survey. Just tell me how you think it went, type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Instead of a real explanation on it. But that's still
two very different perspectives so far.
Yeah, different as a spectrum for real.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so y'all want to move on to another listener?
Let's do it. Yeah. We got some time.
Zay, you want me?
Yeah, I think I sent you guys the. Or do you want me to play it off my phone? How y'all want to do it?
I could. I'll play it. Give me 1 second. I cut the Bluetooth off. So we got another listener, man, who chimed in on ghosting.
Okay.
This one here for all the listeners, kind of PG-13. So if you got any small children, 3 rows in the mic, kind of forgive
maybe a little past that,
right? Yeah.
All right, let's see what's going on.
All right, so Zadrian asked me 2 questions today. Number 1, have you ever ghosted somebody? Yes, I have. All right, I'll tell you this. 9 out of 10, it ain't never nothing personal. Okay. I'm one of those people, just like an example. I'm one of them people, I get caught up in the moment. So as an example, like if I get off of work and I go to a bar and I meet you, right? We sit at the bar, we kicking it, and you like, hey, okay, well, let's hang out on Saturday. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. I'm caught up in the moment, right? Then had some drinks. All right, yeah, we can hang out and friends, whatever, exchange numbers, yada, yada, yada. Whoop, we motherfucking do. Right? So, come Saturday, you hit me up like, yo, we still gonna link or whatever. Probably not. Like, I'm the worst person that you need to make plans with because I'm a homebody. So I go with the flow. Like, if I'm already in that moment, then cool beans. But
She's
if
selling
I'm
people
not
dreams
in that
out here.
moment, look, you want your own baby. Like you gotta figure that shit out. Find somebody else to kick it with that night. Sorry to say it, when it's so easy to just take somebody and be like, hey, you know what I'm saying, we can reschedule, whatever the case may be. But I'm one of them people, I'll just put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and it is what it is. If you take it personal, that's on you. We can sweep it under the rug and act like it never happened, because that's what I'm good at doing. Now, if...
Hold on. Hey, could you pause it right there?
Yeah,
Hold on.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I just want to make...
Wow.
Shout out to all the trill ones out
Yeah.
Keeping it real.
Keeping it real, man. Shout out to her, man. Shout out to her.
She is like that, 10 toes down at all times.
But then you know what? You can appreciate that because you know up front
that bluntness,
right?
That bluntness. A lot of guys can't handle that.
Yeah. I want to hear what else she got to say.
Yeah. Here we go.
I've been ghosted, probably so. And if I have been ghosted, clearly it wasn't that important to me because I don't damn remember. I don't even remember. So if I've been ghosted, I'm sure I have been, but I don't remember. But that's how important it shows to you that I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm the worst person that you want to make plans with. And if it was that important, I would remember, right? Well, if I didn't remember, then it is what it is. Clearly, it's not that big of a deal. So, next. That's it. Plain and simple.
She said next.
So, I want to unpack something for y'all real quick, just because y'all missed it.
Yeah.
I'm the worst person you want to make plans with.
Right.
The worst.
That's a bar in itself.
Right, yeah.
The worst person.
Mic drop on that one.
For real. That's crazy.
I don't even know where to start, man. Like in a good way though. It's
right. Of course. That's,
I think the truth hurts because like she said, I love the fact that she was honest with it, and she obviously knows herself.
Right.
Yeah, obviously, and a lot of people don't know themselves.
Don't know, right.
And she literally saying, "Yo, you beat me in the bar after working 10, 12 hours.
Right.
I'm in the moment.
I'm in the moment.
Right.
Oh yeah, we kick it, and then after that, like you know what, I don't remember you because you weren't that important.
Right.
Like,
womp womp.
Okay, next.
Right. Thanks.
So I wouldn't consider that ghosting though, right? So I mean that's a real situation, and I'm sure that happens a million of times, all across the country. Where you may be in a moment and you may just be vibing with somebody, or you may just come across somebody at the bar after work or whatever, and it's a time for that weekend or for that day or whatever, and y'all part y'all separate ways. That's not really.
But then you heard what she said. She was like, "Yo, y'all meet each other at the bar. Y'all exchange numbers. Y'all like, look, we about to link up Saturday." She like, "Yeah, I'm with it."
That's it.
And then you hit a line and she don't even respond. I think that's the epitome of ghosting right there. You know what I'm saying?
That's what we're talking about.
You didn't set all this stuff up. We didn't, chopped it up to the max, and then the Nate come and
at
you don't even respond.
At a bar for a day, for a couple of hours.
That feels
how much time invested, did that take?
I feel like to a certain not for this young lady here, but I feel like a lot of us use our our personality, say, hey, I'm an introvert, I'm a homebody. We use that as an excuse.
Right.
A lot of times, in a lot of situations, like, oh, why you didn't call me back? Oh, I'm a homebody.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But then we look on Instagram, and you out there,
right,
whatever spot,
right,
whatever spot,
living your best life.
I thought you was a homebody. Oh, I got invited out.
Yeah, how convenient.
Yeah, how convenient.
Right.
On the day that I invited you out, like that's.
And then Mike, to speak to your point, man, way long time ago, before I was married to my loving wife, man, when I was in my bachelor days.
Yeah, fix it up, man.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, facts. Let's get it. But that's how, I would approach women, whether it be, at the grocery store, because I might not get another chance to see you. So it might be at the bar, it might be at the grocery store. So I'm going to shoot my shot, you know what I'm saying? So in that specific moment, I'm excited. Like, okay, we didn't exchange numbers, we didn't set this up, whoop, whoop, whoop. The time come, and I didn't, miss the shot. I thought I was going in, but it rimmed out like Nick Young. So now, so now.
Celebrate too early?
Right, yeah. So now I done got ghosted, and it's just like, wow. That really happened.
I had some cats at Morehouse, man. Shout out to my college, man. They would literally give the wrong number to the female to see how interested they were.
Oh wow!
To see if they would come back
Yeah.
and be like, "Oh, you gave me the wrong number. I called
There
you."
you go.
Oh, so
You
you
know
are
that she
interested.
actually used it, right?
My
Yeah.
goodness,
No, that's real though. That's real.
That's
Yeah.
that.
that's next level right there.
That's
man.
real.
Yeah,
That's real.
I don't have the testicular fortitude to even do that.
Man,
Like, give you the wrong number and then
man.
Or for the situation where it's kind of rewind, if y'all are in a space where y'all see each other quite often, right?
Yeah.
Weekly, monthly, whatever, for whatever reason, work or school or whatever. So, and y'all exchange numbers, but you don't call her, right? Or she don't call you.
Yeah.
So you see it 2 weeks later, it's like, hey, I ain't heard from you.
Right, you good?
You good? Everything?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of ghosting too,
Right,
right?
yeah, fact.
We ain't got time invested yet, but I made the expectation that I want to holler at you.
Right, yeah.
And you ain't follow
something, right?
You know
or
what I'm
take it a step further, man. You in college,
Right.
You had a class with the chick that you had a moment with or whatever,
Right.
and after class, you beeline out that thing. Because she's trying to hem you up and ask you all kind of questions.
You already know.
So you take the steps instead of the elevator.
Right.
You do all these Casper
Right.
moves.
Right.
And the only time you really see is when you're in class.
Right.
And y'all don't really talk because you're in class.
Right.
But as soon as it's over, she try to go where you normally hang out at.
Yeah.
But you go on another route. Like, that takes a lot of energy, man. Like,
Yeah,
You avoiding the calf, and you just, hey man, y'all bring me something back from the calf.
Right.
hey, bro,
She know my routine.
Meet me right here.
Right.
Bro.
Facts. You know what I'm saying?
Bring it to the class,
Facts,
man. Bring it to the
Well, you get
Hey.
get the situation where a friend approach you and be like, "Oh my goodness, jeez Louise."
That's a whole different ball game.
Yeah,
right there.
man. Hey, man.
That's a whole nother
Yeah,
game.
man.
Oh my god.
This some good stuff though, man.
Right.
What I really want to dive into, man, and maybe we can, segue into this, on another episode is why do people choose to ghost? And I know we talked about the first young lady said I don't owe you anything, but I'm not really subscribing to that.
Right.
But why do people choose to kind of walk through different pathways? Why y'all may have chosen to ghost at some point in y'all's lives or in our lives, and what may have led to that. So I'd be interested to kind of hear a little bit more from viewers and hear from y'all fellas.
Right.
Yeah, we'll do that, man. We'll do that. So we'll take a quick little, drink break, I guess you could call it.
Yes, sir.
Hurry up, baby.
Yeah, I hope y'all love what y'all hearing so far, man. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to part 2 of our ghosting episode. So for this part, man, we got some more listeners who wanted to, partake and participate
Run that.
in their
It's been real spicy.
experiences.
This episode been real spicy.
Yeah, their experiences, man, with ghosting, man. So I do have 2 listeners who chimed in, man. So let's take a listen.
Never been ghosted, but I have done it.
That you have ghosted someone before,
Yes.
and your reasoning behind doing it was because.
Sometimes you have to send a message, and the message may be, I just don't want to talk to you about whatever the situation is or what
You
you
just
have
can't
done.
tell them. You just gotta ghost them.
Yes, because you can't.
That's fine. Yeah,
You
bring it
can't
in.
handle it, and you don't understand it. Like, you hear the truth. I probably have already told you the truth, but you still want to call and call and call until
It becomes stalking.
yes. Therefore, you get ghosted because that's annoying.
So how
This
many,
is the message. I've told you.
how many times in your lifetime have you ghosted someone? You think? That answered the question.
I'm pleased to feel.
Young lady number 2.
Okay, the first question is, have I ever been ghosted? So, yes, but they always, for a period of time, they always come back though.
Yes.
And then that's when I return the ghosting. I'm not.
So they come back
They
because
circle back. They circle back.
it got good to them, or they missed it.
Because they probably thought when they ghosted that there was going to be some sort of reach out or communication, but there was not.
Yeah.
So after so long, they reach out again. But at that point, sir, it's
It's a done deal. It's a done
So
deal.
have you ghosted someone before?
hell yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah,
A
truth,
few
man.
times.
Truth.
I think ghosting is appropriate depending on the situation. If we're in the beginning talking stages and you're a little off, I don't owe you no explanation. Like, I'm just ghosting you.
Yeah.
You don't owe anyone any explanation for any reason. In any situation. I'm just asking.
Oh, no, you never owe anyone an explanation. I think it's respectful if you've been in a relationship with somebody to communicate, like.
But you don't owe it.
You don't
It's
necessarily
respectful.
owe it, but it's respectful to do
So,
it.
if you were married,
You can't ghost with
I
your
know.
marriage.
No, but I'm taking it a step further. If you were married, do you owe your husband an explanation for anything, or is just out of respect? You tell him what's going on in your life, I guess.
No, that's the commitment for the Lord. I feel like you owe an explanation. The Lord, your husband, somebody.
Okay. So then, since you have ghosted someone before, how do you feel after you do it?
I feel just fine.
Depending on the situation, relieved.
Yes.
Relieved.
Because I have ghosted probably most of my exes.
You have ghosted most of your exes. And yet, some of them still try to come back.
Yes.
Still, to this day.
Yes.
To this day. And why do you think that is?
I mean, they want that old thing back, but
I want that old.
they want that old thing back. You don't know what you got sometimes till it's gone.
Hey, that's a word.
And you go out here and you see what's in these streets and you realize what I had over here was what I needed. But it's too late for that.
The grass ain't always greener.
It's too late.
So you're saying there are times when it is appropriate to tell them how you feel, and there are other times when ghosting is appropriate.
I believe so.
Yes.
Yep.
I agree with that.
But then on your end, you're saying that you have told them in so many ways instead of just
No.
Yeah, 'cause
No.
sometimes you can tell them and they don't listen.
Exactly.
Oh.
Sometimes I've told them
You can warn
directly.
them.
you told them directly, and they still don't get it.
No, and so you just have to cut them off.
Perfect situation, my last ex. So in the midst of us in the relationship, things were fine, but I told him, like, in the past, if we break up, I'm not going to be your friend. Like, that's a wrap. So when we broke up,
Okay.
I guess he thought he was special, and he thought we were still going to be friends.
He was special.
But
At that moment.
but I talked to that man since the day we broke up.
Oh wow.
No, I take that back. He texted me, but he was texting himself because I didn't respond.
Is there another alternative than ghosting?
Communicate. But again, if we're in the beginning stages and you come off a little crazy, I'm not, and I tell you crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't know you crazy, me telling you ain't gonna ain't gonna fix nothing.
And it
So,
depends on the person. Like,
It depends on the person.
Know
you
who you're dealing
don't
with, right?
realize that that person is gone. Sir. Sir.
Well, thank you
You
so
gotta be
much.
ghosted. And I'm sorry. That's it. That's the only way that you will understand. And that's the form of communication that you will understand.
Oh wow. Wow.
communication.
Cold blooded.
That's good stuff. And now we will have the offering by our. We start talking about church.
That's good.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the listeners for that their perspective.
Oh,
Yeah,
man,
that's
Shout
good
out
stuff.
to those.
Appreciate y'all.
Shout out
Yeah,
to y'all,
that
man.
was
All right,
great.
what y'all
That's great.
thinking, man?
No, she hit on some big points.
Yeah,
you know,
definitely.
I think one of my big takeaways from that was ghosting. There are some situations where ghosting is appropriate. You know what I'm saying?
Personal safety issues.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and I can definitely subscribe to that. I can support that. So, shout out to them and their feedback on that. But I think certain situations where safety may be an issue, or security may be an issue, or
Right.
instability, or whatever, red flags may be shown or displayed up front. Then you 86 that quick, with no explanation needed.
Right.
I don't know. I still can't subscribe to everybody saying that, like, I don't owe you anything, or like I don't owe you something. I think for her and her examples, I mean, she kept mentioning exes, so
Right.
that which led me to believe that she's had time invested with individuals.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So like the whole I don't owe you something like that. I don't,
cut it.
I don't. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just.
Do
I
you
just
do
get
you
the
see
mindset,
do you
though.
see her side though, or
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Because I was
100%.
thinking about it from, I guess, the female perspective. I get, like we touched on, Mike. it could be a safety issue. Like if like she said, like I feel like I've talked to this person and I kind of get a gist of who you are, and if I tell you that this is not for me, then that might set you off type deal. Then I kind of get all right. But on the flip side of that, it could go the other direction too, because now they might not be the most mentally stable person, and you just cut them off without any explanation. Right. Then they really gonna be set off.
And they may have needed that closure.
Right, facts.
Right.
So I guess that's a double sword, double-sided knife right there when you look at it like that.
Yeah.
Man, I think I love the transparency, because sometimes when you try to get people to talk about something, regardless if it's a visual or audio, sometimes they're hesitant. But these two ladies here, man, like they were just straight up with it. Like I tried to communicate, like the first young lady.
Right.
I tried to communicate, but you chose not to listen.
Right.
So the only communication you understood was ghosting.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why I was saying, is there ever a time to ghosting? Apparently,
yeah.
There was a time.
Right. Because I've seen I don't know if you guys have seen on social media and things like that, or just in real life, man. But when a woman rejects a person or a male or something like that, and they just get aggressive with them or get disrespectful with them. So I guess fast forward to us dating, and then you showing those tendencies, and they's like, oh my goodness, this guy here might, It just might be a situation where I don't feel comfortable, continuing to talk to this person. So for my own personal sanity, I'm just gonna cut off communications with that particular person. So
I think that I think it's warranted given the situation, but at the same time, I'm like, at some point, if you continuously ghost someone. Like at some point, what is it? When do you like
the serial ghoster?
Yeah, right.
Habitual ghoster.
When do you take a step back and look in the mirror and say,
who's the common denominator here?
At what point? I'm not saying that about this young lady. I'm not. I'm just saying at some point when you continuously have to ghost, is it like I'm just choosing the wrong gentleman I'm at the wrong place, picking the wrong guys, or is it something internally with me? I'm just saying. I'm not talking about this young lady at all. I'm just saying, like, in general, listening to her story, there's a lot of women out there have thought that they had found the one, and they continuously have a failed relationship, or they ghost them, or whatever the case may be. Is it always, at some point, is it saying, you know what, is it me? Like, when do you get to that point?
Right. But you know what? I also don't want us to convolute the term ghosting either, too, or muddy the waters too much, because with the last young lady's example, she mentioned how with my exes and the last guy I dated, I ghosted him because I ain't hear from him, or he texted me but I ain't texting back, whatever. That's not particularly ghosting, right? Yeah. That's just like separation and you having discipline, and we're just not going to communicate. We moving on, right? So that's not necessarily like ghosting, right? That's just like, all right, cool, this ain't work out, for whatever reason, and I'm just being disciplined and not communicating,
right?
With you,
know what I'm saying? So not feeding into that,
not feeding into your stuff. So I don't particularly constitute that as ghosting.
So Mike, if you had to explain to someone in layman terms, ghosting, what would Mike O say?
Bro, I'm gonna be honest. I'm still trying to understand the term because that's not in my generation, right? I'm still trying to and doing my research on this, before the episode, and talking to people and asking people and of different generations and different races. It's apparently something that's been going on for forever. You know what I'm saying? It never really took on its own terminology or colloquialism, whatever. Yeah. So I think from what I understand, it's really the act of engaging with somebody in a short term period. But the feedback that I got from other people was that it doesn't have to be short term. It could be the course of months or a relationship or years or whatever. But my understanding is that you engage with somebody short term and abruptly just stop all communication. So that's kind of how.
So out of nowhere,
it just
and that's the thing though, right? Without any leading indicators, without anything contributing towards it, it's just abruptly out of nowhere. You think things are this or may not, things are that, and you just stop communicating.
Yeah. Mark, what you got, man?
Man, I think just kind of backtrack a little bit. I think we're seeing a lot of common denominator of these young ladies using ghosting now almost as a defense mechanism, right? They're saying for whatever reason, I'm not feeling them, things not working out. My expectations never met my reality.
Right. Ooh,
Right.
wee.
So
Ooh,
I'm gonna fall back, and the best way to do that to avoid confrontation is to ghost.
That's a
right.
word.
Yeah,
Right.
that's
You know what I'm
deep
saying?
right
But to track back forward, man, I think, like how Mike said, ghosting and it is itself in its own embodiment is like, to abruptly and immediately stop all communication with somebody for whatever reason you got.
Right.
And I think timeline really doesn't even matter, because people have different reasons for at different timelines and their point in their lives. They feel like that it's applicable, right?
Yeah.
Or that it's okay to do. And as we've been hearing from our listeners, a lot of times they feel like, hey, it doesn't matter. I don't care what the person thinks about it. It's about what I feel, what I think, what I'm comfortable with.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
So,
crazy.
At the end of the day.
But when you get into a relationship, you have to take into account other people's feelings.
you should.
Yeah.
You should.
You should.
You should.
Right.
But do you
It
owe
don't
that
mean-
to them?
Yeah, and it don't mean that's gonna happen.
But then, why do people wait? I know we get way off topic now, man. But why do people wait until they get married to say, "Oh, now I should consider my spouse's feelings," versus before marriage, it was like it's all me. You know what I'm saying?
Or I don't owe you anything.
I don't owe you anything. But then when we put a ring on it, it's like, oh, okay, I got to talk to you now.
Like how y'all principles set up?
Say we locked in now, so I can,
hey, we're locked in, bro. We're locked in, man.
facts,
We
man.
five
Since
foot.
it's a lot harder for me to leave now.
Right, yeah, at
I
this
guess
point.
I can talk to you.
right, yeah. I guess we can share some stuff.
Right.
We ain't going too deep like the other
Right, yeah,
listeners.
surface level.
There you
What to
go.
say, surface level?
Surface level,
level.
man. Hey, so what do you think about CNN? You know what I'm talking about? Keep it surface.
Right.
All right, man. So, I mean, do we have any more listeners?
I think we do, man. Let's see if
Something,
we got
Mark?
something.
You got something, Mark?
Let's see if we got
Go
something.
and
out
fire
here,
that on up, man.
Fire it on up, man.
Well, Mark's doing that though.
Yeah.
Why do y'all think that people choose to do it? Besides, like the obvious, right? The whole safety thing or whatever. Like, why y'all think people choose to ghost?
Like I think some of them touched on it. It's still that particular person don't meet their standard or what they thought the person was going to be. They thought it was going to be one situation and it turned out to be something different. And they just, for whatever reason, didn't let that person know, like, look, I'm not feeling you, and just left it where it was.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Ghosting, man. I don't know. When I first heard the term, I thought it was a very immature thing. I'm like, we're all grown ups here. Like, why we just can't, voice our opinion and voice how we feel and keep it moving respectfully. Right. But like we're hearing from our listeners, you see, like, hey, I try to communicate with you. In some situations, like, hey, I try to communicate with you on a grown woman type thing or a grown man type thing, but you wouldn't listen. So then you come at me sideways, so I got to give it to you another way that you can understand.
Right.
I had to go down to your level
right,
for you to understand. What I was trying to do was take you up another level.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, man.
Try to do it the easy way. You want to do it the hard way.
Right.
Yeah.
You weren't ready, right? So,
Right.
all right, Mark, what we got, man?
Let's jump on into our next listener, man. See what's going
Oh
on.
boy,
We.
I feel like this one's gonna be something. We're gonna see.
Alright, so this is my ghosting story. I actually ghosted my neighbor. He was asking me for a lighter one night and asked if we could exchange numbers. I was like, cool, whatever, maybe on some neighborly shit. So he ended up texting me saying it was him, and I'm like, okay, cool. Didn't say anything else. And he just started like conversing about like the typical trying to get to know you, what's your age, all that, your IG and all that shit. And I was whatever. But then he was like, literally, I want to get to know you, I want to talk to you. And I'm like, it's not really a good time for me. I just got out of a relationship. I really wasn't interested. So, and I told him straight up, like, I'm not really, interested. So, I mean, since then, like, he'll still hit me up asking me if I want to smoke and chill, and I don't answer. I don't respond. I'll look at it, but I won't say anything because it's just like I don't even want to get to that level. Like, and again, I'm not interested. He's totally not my type. Like, I literally thought it was on some neighborly shit. However, that was not the case. So, you know, it is what it is.
All right, shout out to her, man.
Yeah,
Shout
no
out to
doubt.
you.
We
That's
appreciate
dope.
that perspective too.
So I guess this would be my question to her or anybody that's in a position like that or has been in a position like that. Why not just tell the brother up front?
Well, I think she did.
Well,
she
she
said
mentioned that
she
she
tried.
tried to
tried
be straight
it,
up
and he
with him,
wasn't
right.
being receptive
He
to
wasn't
it.
being receptive.
And I think we heard that from another listener earlier. Is she tried a straightforward approach, you know, to have respect about it. And when they just wasn't hearing what she had to say, she said, okay, all right, next.
It's
Right,
it's almost
facts.
like they're saying, like, you know, why not me? Like, you know, when she tried to tell you off, like, nah, I'm good. He's like, man, why not me, bro? Like,
Yeah, she said she just wrote off a relationship too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But that can also rub a guy wrong way. Like, that's just a cop out, bro. Like,
yeah, see,
Yeah,
you
guys.
know, I see.
yeah, but
That's true.
She's her neighbor.
Neighbor.
Wow.
Somebody you see all the time.
Yeah, that's
Which adds a whole nother depth to this
yeah,
thing.
it's
Like,
deep right there.
if I see you every day, I come home from work. Every day I
Right.
leave. Like,
yeah.
like, are we talking like next door neighbors?
Gotta be.
close
She said-
enough? She said close enough.
Close enough.
Right.
She said, all I needed was a lighter.
Right. You done took it to the next
pretty
level.
close, right.
Facts, man.
now
So,
you go
yeah.
into a different type of avoidance when you come to that.
Yeah, and then as anybody, man, you just got to read the tea leaves, man. You got to see what the people giving you, man. And you telling me you're not really interested. You just got out of a relationship. Woo. Hey, man, you just got to chalk that one up and keep it moving, man. And just because I don't really consider that ghosting, because she let him know what it was off the rip, man. So he just got to be man enough to be like, okay, you know what? I appreciate her for at least letting me know what it was and keep it moving, man.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't consider that ghosting at all because again, like something has to be open first in order for you to close it. So there was
Right.
nothing for her to close. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because she never let him in.
Right.
There was nothing that was like initiated or opened up. So
Right.
I can see that.
yeah, I don't
Facts, man.
consider that.
We got to
ghosting
use
at
that. Mike, you just said a word, man. We got to keep that for another
Right.
clip, man.
all. Yeah, for sure. So I don't see that ghosting at all.
Nothing to
No.
close because there was nothing to open.
No, she never initiated anything. They never initiated anything.
So she didn't crack the window for him.
Nah.
No.
Not at all.
man.
You don't think so?
She ain't looked through the peephole a little bit, bro?
Nah, not at all.
I thought she at
I
least.
mean, she gave him his number though.
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
I thought
yeah.
she at least opened the
But
blind.
Right.
then,
So she
but
looked through or
then,
something.
right, but then she kept it in context. She said, "I thought it was just on some neighborly type stuff." So she, from the jump, that's all she had on her mind. It wasn't no romantic, no companionship type deal. This is strictly neighbor type deal.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
So-
You can
Occasional
borrow some-
smoke, you
so-
know.
You're right. You
So
can
could
borrow
we-
some sugar type stuff.
So could we say that's like a level 1 type ghost?
Nah,
I don't even care. I
No
don't even know.
ghost.
Right, no ghost.
No ghost.
No
Nah,
ghost.
That's probably it may not be
Yeah,
mixed
facts.
Yo,
up.
that's what we should have did after every listener. We should have did a
Yeah,
level.
facts.
Like what level we on?
Yeah, facts. Yeah,
Level
Yeah,
1.
yeah.
So for this listener, we saying level 0.
facts.
You know what? I mean, hearing all these different perspectives, there might be levels to it.
Yeah, no,
definitely.
no, without a doubt.
Yeah, I believe
Without
there
a doubt,
is.
there's levels to this.
I don't know now how many. I don't know, man. It could be 10 levels. It could be
Right.
20 levels to this.
Right.
But-
Facts. But yeah,
It all depends. Like I say, I think it's
situation.
ghosting on different. It's situational ghosting.
Right. Facts.
Situational ghosting for sure.
Well, let me ask y'all this: Have
What's up?
either of y'all ghosted anybody?
I have,
Yeah.
but I mean, granted. I mean, it was like freshman college years. I mean, so it doesn't seem. You know how sometimes when you talk to older folks, they're like, "Man, that ain't nothing." Like,
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, but it was freshman year, college, man, and young ladies just really was smitten by me.
Smitten.
Yeah, smitten. And what I mean is like, she fell hard for me so quickly. Like, but then, and how do I know this? Because she was very forward with it.
Right.
Like, I loved you.
Oh wow. She was dropping the L word.
Oh, man.
After how long? Bro?
Right.
A month?
Ooh.
No.
Gosh.
Red flag. Time out.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
flag on the play.
No.
You went from 0 to 100 real quick.
No.
It was one of those summers, man. I was working, and we had a summer job working with underprivileged kids,
Okay.
delivering lunch to underprivileged kids in the projects all over
Shout out
Atlanta.
to community service.
Yeah, man. So I really got into that. So you know how when you work with people, you build relationships.
Of course.
So
Naturally. Right.
she was the head person over all of us. you know, who was out distributing the food. So I got to work with her, and you know, it ended up being a relationship. So it was cool.
Right.
I had a schedule. It wasn't like every day, but like maybe Monday, Wednesday, Friday, something like that.
Gotcha.
But we hung out. We had fun. Like, I didn't meet her family or nothing like that. She didn't meet mine. It was really like casual. But she had that talk with me. It was like, you know, I love you, and I'm falling for you type thing. And I'm like, whoa. Like, you know, when you say that, it's like they want something, a response.
Right,
like,
yeah. Return it. Return. You say it back.
I was like, call it response. Like we say in the educator world. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I appreciate that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow,
I didn't know what else to say to be respectful, man.
Right.
So after that, man, it became a game of ghosting, playing Casper. Mind you, I worked with her.
Right.
So I would call the boss and be like, I
Right.
can't come in today.
man.
I can't come in today.
J-Mac, go back to that. Like, when you said that, like, what was her facial expression? How did she respond when you just said thanks?
Oh, man, straight face. like literally.
Stoic, just like.
She like.
So it didn't phase her, what you said.
I think it did.
It
phased
phased
her.
her. It phased her because
But, you know, sometimes people they dive so deep so
Right,
fast.
yeah.
You can tell them anything, and they say, "Okay, I love you." I didn't tell you I love you. But, okay.
Dude, she'll. And
That's not
then
what I heard.
when I was coming to work all the time, and even when people couldn't make it, I would take their shift and go all over the Montel homes and Herndon homes and drop, you know, the food off to the kids.
Right.
And when I stopped, you know, coming in from time to time, she peeped game,
Right.
and she was like, "So now you're not coming to work?"
Oh,
I was like, "You don't know my life, man. Like, I got other stuff to do." She's like, "Yeah, right." I'm like, "You."
Oh, man.
You know, that route.
Man, here we
You know,
go.
that route. So yeah, man. I had to stay away, man, and wait for the summer to end, man. So I get back to school, man. The money was good, bro, but it got uncomfortable very quickly.
That's a warranted ghost right there. That's official.
much needed. Much needed.
So I would say that's like a level.
Oh, that's high.
That's high.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, that's
high. I don't know. Like you said, I don't know what scale we on, but that's high. That's high.
That's my experience.
Right. So I'm gonna tell y'all this story. It's a funny story, man. Mine is quick, and then I'll let Mark and Mike jump in though. So, matter of fact, it got to do with Mark and his bruh. So, back in my Albany State days, I went to this great Q party, man. It was in the State Theater, man. So he was having a good time. I'm a young fellow, you know, just crossed or whatever, not too long. So in the State Theater, it gets kind of dark in there, right? Yeah. So, you know, I'm feeling it. I probably had a couple of drinks or whatever.
I see where this going.
I done danced on this particular young lady for maybe a couple of songs or whatever the situation may be.
But y'all might be married, bro.
Yeah, fact.
Two songs.
So we didn't exchange numbers. You know, man. Okay, I got me one.
Okay, then.
I got a number for the night. Man, tell me why Mark and the boys and cut on the lights. I done seen the situation from coming out the bathroom. And I'm like, yo. Oh, my God, man. Hey. So I done told my homeboy, I was like, yo, it's time to go. He's like, bro, come on. Nah, I said, bro, it's time to go. Because I see her kind of like trying to make eye contact with me like, yo, this is the end of the night type deal.
Emergency.
So I was like, nah, bro, you got, hey, man. I'm
911.
Hey, I'm on the shield. We got to go right now. Ooh. So, yeah, I mean, I've definitely, that's my funny story about ghosting. I've definitely ghosted somebody.
So that I think that's higher than my situation.
Oh, my, right? No.
I mean, that's probably more immediate.
Right.
You need an SOS.
Urgency, like,
right. Help, man. Yeah. Shout out to that young lady, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure she's happy and prospering and stuff like that now, but it's just my story.
Oh, man.
Come on, Mark.
Shout out to old ASU out here, man.
Right. Oh, facts, man.
That's wow.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
What's done in the dark will
come
to light.
Yeah, literally, so, right? Literally.
I mean,
Mark, what you got, man?
That is crazy, bro. I mean, I'm gonna go back to I'm gonna go back to another situation, bro. I was up in Michigan for a little while for school, bro. And when I was up there, you know, they had the school parties and stuff like that, similar to what Zay just said. You know, you get to a point where you can understand, you know, you kind of peep the atmosphere. You go to these functions, right? and you can people feeling you, right? People
Right.
talking about you behind your back in a good way.
Yeah.
Saying, who was that? I want to holler at him. What's his story? Whatever. So, in this one situation, this young lady, she kind of cornered me. I was coming out the library, as all good students tend to do.
Right.
Come out of the library one night.
Education's first.
Right.
And it was late, man. It was close to down. It was like 9, 10 o'clock. I was going to head over to this little bar down the street. They had like a little function. I think maybe St. Patty's Day. She cornered me like I didn't know she was following me. I went to open my car door, and she popped right behind me and said, "Hey, where you going?" I said, "Whoa,
hey man, pump your brakes, man."
Whoa,
Where'd you come from?
Right.
Wait a minute. Where'd you come from?
Wait a minute.
Right. You know what time it is. So and I actually knew who it was. Through classes or whatever, but I never talked to her like that. But long story short, I just from that point on, I just made sure where she was, I wasn't.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know what that would have turned into.
Right.
But I feel like that's kind of a form of ghosting in itself.
Yeah.
I ain't stepped my foot in yet, but I made sure that wasn't no part of me in that at all.
Right.
Facts.
Yikes. Well, we know Mike ain't been there. Mike's a gentleman. He's
gentleman and a scholar, man.
Oh man.
You know what though? I mean I can't call or like pinpoint a particular situation where I felt like I intentionally ghosted. I'm sure I've done it. Right. I mean, actually, I'm pretty sure I've done it. Several times. But
you say you're pretty sure he did it.
Hey man, wait a minute. Hey, I was about to say, Mark, come on, man. Somebody picked up on that, right?
Oh, we missed that. Hold up, bro.
I mean, I'm a nice guy though, man. So it's like, I mean, to completely
I'm a
nice guys ghost too, bro.
Yeah, nah, but
right.
Nice in the sense of to completely just abruptly end something. I got you. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's an old job, whether it's an old relationship, whether it's an old colleague or whatever. Right. I'll tap in. I don't know. I just care about well-being.
Mike said he gonna give you some closure. He gonna let you know what it is.
He said he care about that respect level. He intentionally respects that closure.
It's a ghost. It's definitely probably been ghosts, but it's been with a very smooth transition. It ain't been abrupt.
Right.
It's been a transition, but you know what I'm saying? So I don't know what the word is. Maybe that don't constitute ghosting, but I mean, it'll be like a smooth transition out, so maybe I might stop. So maybe the cadence of our communication may have been, you know what I'm saying, on this.
Right.
And then out of nowhere, it was like, well, damn, he stopped.
Out of nowhere.
Might pull that
but I'm still
slow down the communication.
He pulled the
but
plug.
I ain't blocking nobody. I'm not, not following you.
Yeah.
Might pull that Donnell Jones out, man.
Yeah,
He pulled that Donnell Jones out.
Yeah, so
say when you love someone,
you just don't treat them bad. That's right. So
left him on red. Sent Mike this message 10 days ago. He still ain't responding.
Right. Now that left on red thing, man, that hurt. That hurt. Anybody listening, man? If you want to get somebody, leave them on red.
Yeah. Is that ghosting? Like, if somebody leave you on red?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah,
for sure. I think that.
That's like a level 3.
That's a level 3.
It's certified level 3.
It's a level 3. When you can see it on your phone, you can just see red, and then they don't respond at all. That's
get that check mark, man.
That's sickening.
That hurt.
That's sick right there, bro. Hey, you a bad person for that.
Hey,
Come on, man.
Mark, you got somebody else, man?
Let's see if we got somebody
Mark
else.
got somebody else? Uh-oh.
Let's see what's going on with this.
Somebody else got to chime in about ghosts.
So what did they call it back in our day, though? Or what did we call it back in our day?
Hiding.
Disappearing.
Hiding. Casper.
Right.
Yeah. Avoidance.
Avoidance. Right.
Strictly
Facts,
avoidance.
Facts. No doubt.
Oh, wait. She at that club? No, we ain't
no,
going there,
man.
All the
Here
way.
we go. Here we go.
Your story bar none got to be like the funniest thing I've heard all day, bro.
I think that's happened to a lot of people.
Right, fact.
I've been there, bro.
See?
I know.
I know I'm not alone, man. The listeners, I know I'm not alone on that type scenario.
That's hilarious.
Look, officially, that club like something different.
Yeah.
So,
Facts.
Everybody may look. You may look, man.
Yeah. No doubt.
Here we go, man. All right, Mark, what you got?
Let's see what we got, bro.
Ghosting is circumstantial. So in the traditional sense, if we're talking about from a woman's perspective, a guy leading you on and telling you all the things that he thinks you want to hear, and now it's weeks or months into you all getting to know each other, and then there's just no communication. So in that sense of ghosting, I think it's wrong, and I think it's cowardly. From a adult
To go that word again.
perspective, your intention should be upfront, and you should be honest about what you want
Totally.
from the other person and about what that particular relationship is going. From an instance of, I've only spoken to somebody for let's say a week or two, maybe we've met once, but then I'm just not interested anymore. I don't necessarily think you owe the person an explanation. I think ghosting is only wrong when there are expectations involved and feelings involved. So what people traditionally think of ghosting is when, again, from a female's perspective, a man is leading you on and telling you things you want to hear, specifically to get something that he wants. And once he gets whatever that is, then he just cuts you off. You know, that is wrong. But from my experience, I've, spoken to men that after a day or two of us speaking, texts become inappropriate or conversations become inappropriate. Yeah, you're not going to hear from me. And I don't think that's wrong.
Fair.
I don't think I owe you anything after just speaking to you for a week, especially if the actions on the other person's end have become disrespectful and inappropriate. So just think it's all about context and what the circumstances are between those two individuals. So yeah, that's it.
Dope.
I like that. Yeah, that's a good perspective right there.
I will say this about everybody that we've heard from today. They've all been incredibly intelligent, incredibly savvy, and I just wanted to shout out all of their responses and their experiences because they all had something
for sure
of value to contribute to this conversation. So that was a dope perspective. Yeah. And even like coming into it, like the whole I don't owe. Listening to her, it gave me a completely different perspective into the whole. I don't particularly owe you anything, right? So shout out to her, man. That was dope. That was deep.
I like the way she broke it down. Like I said, context, different
right.
Using different situations
right.
to highlight the reasoning for ghosting, right? So if you just met somebody, been a couple weeks, you seen them one time. Then you start texting and calling and staying, stay in touch, thinking, move on to the next level, see where it goes. But then that person starts getting crazy with their texting and conversations, right? Start sending you them crazy pictures that we talk about, know about, so that just throws you off, right? That throws, it change expectation that you thrown off, maybe blow a little bit. So then a lot of times, again, that defense mechanism or the next step is just automatic. Okay, next.
Yeah, and in a situation like that, she don't owe him a thing. You don't owe him an explanation, right? So I side with that. That's
Like y'all said, I agree with that. Because everybody got their own expectations of a particular situation. So if you, like Mark said, man, you coming off raunchy or you sending some things that are not warranted to a particular person. Right. I mean, it's well within their rights to ghost you, man, because they do not approve of what is being presented to them.
Right.
So I agree. I agree with that.
I think I did a poll on, I think with Instagram, man, just to kind of test the waters, man. I asked, have you ever ghosted someone before? And 87% said yes. But then the next question was, have you ever been ghosted? And 82% said yes.
So it's a give and take. It's go both ways.
Hey, you ghost me, I'm going to ghost you type, type thing. So.
If you be in this game long enough, you're probably gonna be on both ends of the perspective. You
know
what I'm saying?
And it may be unintentional.
Right, yeah.
It may just be situational that just was necessary, right?
It's funny that you mentioned that because with one of the responses, she had mentioned how, she had been ghosted and they would always come back around, and she would allow them to come back around just for her to do the same thing. Right. You know what I'm saying? So
hold that leash tight, boy.
Right, yeah.
So that's interesting with that
tit for tat type thing, ain't it?
A little petty, but
I guess like they keep coming back around. I mean, you can't control them coming back around. You know what I'm saying? Like they coming back around. It's like they trying to get back in.
Right.
Yeah, but in her response, she was just like, I'm trying to let them come back in just so that I can do the same.
Exactly.
It's just like, what type of
Punish them. Let me punish them.
like,
Right.
what type of
It's almost like she
spiteful-
enjoyed ghosting.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I said, let me
Finish
hit that
him.
refresh.
Finish him. Right.
Now that's a next level ghost. Like,
Right,
That's
facts.
like God
Yeah.
tier ghost. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
yeah, God level.
Like I'm a ghost you because I've been ghosted for so long or so many times, and now I'm looking for somebody to
Right,
just
you thought
be
you had a
ghost.
checkmate.
You
I
know
got
what I'm
you.
saying? That's wild.
I got the last
You know what
one.
I'm
I got the last ghost.
Right. Right. Shout out to Amari Hardwick, man, who played the role of
Hey,
Ghost.
solid Ghost, baby.
So you know,
They didn't have to kill that man
all
off.
my power fans out there. Shout out to the man Ghost.
New
man.
Ghost.
There you go.
Tariq.
They could have killed off a lot of people, man. They ain't had to kill off
good
Ghost,
Ghost.
man.
Hey, man. Hey, look. For the real fans, Ghost ain't dead.
Yeah,
on
man.
now.
Come on, man.
Let's go,
Man,
man.
that nigga did.
He living real good.
He
Man.
did, man.
He in Barbados right now.
Ghost gone, man. Ghost is gone. Ghost is
Conspiracy
gone.
theories, man.
Man, look, I think, man, we got some more comments, man, from people, man.
We got a lot more for y'all.
We gonna do it on another episode, man. This is just part one.
Y'all
man.
want to carry it over?
Yeah.
Yeah, we gonna. I mean,
Are we gonna keep going?
No. I meant like another episode. Y'all want to talk about another
I
episode?
think it's worthy.
I think we keep this going.
I
man.
think y'all want another
yeah.
episode of this. I
We
really
got a lot
do.
more feedback,
Right,
man.
yeah.
A lot more stories.
More ghosting?
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, man. I think people are gonna be texting us now, man. You know, we've got some text, man. So
Right.
we're gonna bring that to the table, man. We're gonna bring it to the table.
All right, cool.
So y'all tune in, man, for our next episode, part 2 of
Next week.
Ghosting.
Hey, and as always, please like,
Shout out,
comment,
man.
subscribe,
Hit
follow.
that
Let's know what
like
y'all
button.
feel about everything.
Shout
Let's
out,
go.
shout
that
out
like
to
button.
Hennessy, man. Shout out to Hennessy.
Shout out to
man.
White Man.
Yeah.
Appreciate y'all.
Like Mark
For
said,
sure.
man, subscribe, man. Follow.
Pound that
Hit that
subscribe
like button, man.
man.
Smash
Kill
it.
it.